Hello and welcome back to weboughtamic for good mic hunting.
Wow. We're still doing that?
A career arc series on the films of Mr. Robin Williams, esteemed actor, comedian, film developer guy.
He did, well, I guess in this movie particular, that makes it sound like he's like well known for his production work, which I don't know if that's true.
He's meticulous.
It's a hobby.
Film
Yeah,
stuff.
okay. Yeah.
He's really into black and
really
white.
well known for his love of Evangelion. Brother, we're talking about that. An actual real life love that he has that he was able to bring into this film.
Random obsession with Gap model couples.
I know. With the most early 2000s couple on all time.
Man, you see that haircut on
the woman,
fucking, what's her name? Naomi.
She's
Nina?
not anything.
No, that haircut though was just like of a time. Everybody's mom wished that they had that haircut in 2002.
Welcome to the show. Talking 1 hour photo. My name's Ernest.
The movie that we're talking about is 1 hour photo, but I'm 1 minute hunter.
Ew.
Damn.
What?
Ew.
Yeah.
He gets results. I don't look.
If we're being honest, it's closer to it's in the seconds, but I don't want to.
I thought you were going to say that like
didn't
this was
roll
a
off the
1 hour
tongue as well.
podcast. And I was like,
That's a fucking lie.
Brother,
that's
that's
not
a
true.
big,
That's not.
that's a
I
big
wouldn't
promise.
lie to people, okay?
I'm 1.5 year Robin Williams series, Drew.
Yeah, 18 months.
Because we have confirmed been doing this.
We've hit the mark. Yeah.
Well, what listeners don't know is that we have actually been covering every other one that you aren't hearing right now, but it got lost. It's a lost episode.
They're all with the Hook,
Mhm.
the Lost Boys podcast. And joining us, special guest, Harry. Welcome back.
Hello. I have been called 1.5 minute followed by 1 hour of guilt, Harry Sayer. But I think yours is cleaner, Hunter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Really into
Well, you get that
celluloid.
extra half minute.
that's true. You
See,
can get a lot done.
there's
in
something
half
a little bit
minute.
selfish about what I'm bringing to the table.
You got to think about the broader picture.
But
that you're doing.
there's tears. Like
Okay,
I don't want you to get twisted. Like there's lots of crying.
Mine's
It
more
comes
internal.
before and after, and a lot of times during, and a lot that actually kind of helps the time keep the time down.
This sounds
because of how
like
much
what happened to
crying.
Robin when he was a kid.
Oh my
Really,
God.
you're following in his
Oh,
footsteps
God.
in many ways.
Whoa.
Well, he's something of an
Darkness
idol for
falls.
me.
I
so.
really hope no one's watching this in a year like, God, the signs were all there with Hunter. I really hope not.
Probably did.
He came in today with like blonde hair.
Hunter, sigh.
I'm like, hey guys, do you want to see a picture of my mom? And it's just like a Getty image watermarked photo.
So before we dive into the movie, you alluded, Drew, that we've hit the 18-month mark with this series.
It's a sign that things are going well. We're not dragging our asses.
No.
Very
We're
on
not-
and off.
We're not tired of it.
We are now with this movie entering the home stretch, the 21st century portion of Robin Williams' career.
That's true.
And I think that we
This is
needed
2002.
let's be honest, after Bicentennial Man, I think we needed a break.
Well, it wasn't just that. There was a run there of like Father's Day, Jack, Flubber.
Hey, don't. In hindsight, I yearn for the Flubber Mambo. If we every second of every one of these movies could just be getting the Flubber Mambo, then we could crank this thing out in like 3.5 weeks.
So going into this movie, kind of coming back, taking this multi-month break, because I think Bicentennial Man was what?
1999.
No, when we did that podcast, it was like
1999.
October.
1999. It was 1999.
I think that was like late October.
Wow.
So man, almost 3 months without Robin. So how'd you boys feel like coming back? What were you anticipating it? Were you dreading it? Like how did you feel about coming back and finishing off this series?
Well, to be honest with you, my wife, Gaia, friend of the pod, kept wanting to put on 1 hour photo every night. She said, can we please go to sleep to 1 hour photo? Can we please put this on? And I would smack the DVD out of her hands and say, no, I have to save it for the pod.
That DVD over there.
Right there.
No, I paid $3.99 for it on YouTube because I don't own this DVD. But
We will spotlight that box.
Did you
later.
buy this for the podcast or did you already have this?
There are movies that just end up on my shelf
Okay.
throughout the years.
You wake up and it's
just
just
to say,
there.
it might have been mine at one point in time. And it just
It's just one of
wandered
those,
over to yours, to your media.
What about you, Drew? Were you dreading this? Were you looking forward to it? How did you feel?
I think we're out of the woods. Not in terms of, we have bad things left to watch, but I don't think that it could get lower than Bicentennial Man.
I know.
It's fun coming into this way later because I see your eyes change when you talk about different movies. I'm seeing a lot of age within about certain.
Like
the vibe was so bad that day.
Whenever we were watching like Good Morning Vietnam, Mrs. Doubtfire, there was just like, oh, there's so much hope here.
Great movie.
So much life.
And then, I mean, this is kind of a good transition to talk about where Robin's at, but this is like a really weird spot.
I would agree with that.
Late 90s was rough.
It's Robin post winning an Oscar in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
He's like trying to search out his next big thing and trying to find a way to reinvent himself. Does it work? We'll kind of talk about
I think
about his performances.
Not work.
Not necessarily his performances, because I don't think that's a thing. But I think that Robin does have a little bit of what most actors have this. Like only a few are actually like really excel about this, but especially in their peak. But picking the right projects to attach themselves to, because a lot of projects that Robin's on, whether it is something like Bicentennial Man or 1 Hour Photo, there is an elevator pitch for it that rules. Mm-hmm. That is like an excellent movie. And then it's just about, is the movie in the right hands? Does it have the right writers? Does it have the right directors? The right supporting crew around him to actually make that into something special?
Yeah, I think by and large, just the concept of the comedian or the more lighthearted figure trying to go dark or go more serious. And I think this is a more successful example compared to others like Jim Carrey, for example. But the level of success is up for debate. And you can feel the enthusiasm when we're talking about how successful 1 Hour Photo is.
I think like it sounds annoying, but from everything that we've read about the production process of these movies, I think he genuinely cares more about whether or not the role interests him when he takes it. I could definitely see why this role interested him. Also, this movie was a relative success. Like the budget was really low. It was like maybe a little more than 10 mil and it made 50. Like it did really well. I would have thought watching it that it was lower budget than that.
Yeah. So not to give a whole story about me, but this is actually probably the first Robin Williams movie I ever watched.
Nice.
I think I was.
That's why you picked it.
This is the movie I picked because when you all brought up the series, I really looked hard in the mirror saying, what Robin movies have I really watched and connected to? And I was like, oh, Jesus, it's 1 Hour Photo. Wow. And, but I watched
Is this what inspired you to become a photographer?
That's the one. Wow. It's all sides.
Oh my God.
I watched
Should
this,
we be worried about what you're capturing?
Do not go in my closet. I swear to God.
God damn it. Harry took our wedding photos. What are you doing to those photos, Harry?
There's just X's all over. No, I watched this when I was very, very young. I think I was 10 or 11. I really...
That's alarming.
Yeah, I was fat. I did the pitch. You know what, Hunter, you just said the pitch of it's Robin Williams, a goofy guy going super creepy. And I remember being struck by it, but it has been a long time since I've watched it again. And I think the flaws are more obvious, but I still think there's something to this movie that's somewhat successful. There's a thing here.
There's absolutely something to this movie compared to your Bicentennial Man.
Man,
I was just about to pull something out of thin air, you know?
That's the thing about like a career arc series is you really get an arc. Like we have seen, now that we're like nearing the end here, like we have seen the lowest of lows.
Yeah.
Or I hope that that's as low as it gets.
Yeah, don't say that. But yeah, you see a lot of facets of a man and of the film industry as a whole and what it's capable of pooping out. And this movie is sort of an auteur piece. It feels like it too. Like it feels like a small scale, like one dude is at the helm here. His name is Mark Romanek. Hasn't done a whole lot.
Well, he has done a lot in the music video space.
That's what I found fascinating watching this again, because I think this movie has such a cohesive. This movie is weird. It never feels like it takes off completely, but it does have like a cohesive and a effective enough visual style that, look, it's all fairly obvious. Like, yes, he's the color of like the bland wallpaper behind him. That's how he dresses. Like, but like, that does visually work and get across what it needs to do. You know,
the script has a lot of stuff like that too. The script I'd probably have more issue with than the visual style, because the visual style is pretty solid to me. It's very early 2000s. Don't get me wrong, but the script has that feel of, you know, I don't know. Choices are being made. Like you get really, really blatant motifs in your face the whole time. And that's fine. There's, but I mean, it's a combination of script and direction that, like, for example, the reason I thought that this movie was so low budget while watching is like the best example is there is a pretty effective short dream sequence where Robin's having a dream. And it works visually. It's a cool watch. It's very symbolic, yada, yada. It's about 5 shots.
Yeah.
It's 5 shots. And they're kind of like just match cuts zooming in closer to his face. That's just like pretty solid low budget filmmaking.
You also can't tell overtly that it's a dream sequence until it absolutely is a dream sequence. Like the movie kind of fools you.
It does it a couple different times at like having those kind of sequences.
Well, I'm talking about the one late in the movie
with the eyes
and where he's in the store.
Yeah.
Which you definitely know that's a dream sequence.
Okay. So I guess I need to give my little spiel at this point because we were supposed to do this episode like 3 months ago. And that's when I watched this movie. And now that we're actually doing it, I was thinking, so we're doing a 2-parter here for folks. You're going to be listening to them a week apart, but it's this and the next movie we're talking about, Death to Smoochie. And coming up to this recording, I was like, okay, do I need to rewatch both of these movies or am I going to be good to talk about them with my memory of them from 3 months ago?
Do you have notes?
No, I'm going off the dome.
Oh shit.
And so with 1 Hour Photo, I felt like I had a really good, like I remembered the movie really well. Like it stuck in my mind really well.
It went through your retinas.
Yeah. But with Death to Smoochie, which we'll talk about in a separate episode, I was like, I have no memory of that movie.
That's not a unique experience.
It fell out of my brain.
It is meant to be not understood. If you try to follow it linearly, you're like, oh yeah, the scene where like there are like 10 scenes in the first 5 minutes of that movie.
We'll get to that.
I carved out time to rewatch that one because I was like, I don't remember anything about that movie from 3 months ago. So I rewatched that one this week. Did not get a chance to rewatch 1 Hour Photo, but I felt like
you get the vibe. It's a much more straightforward movie. It's simple.
The main beats of this movie are pretty fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
It feels like a very unique type of movie that we don't really see too much these days. It's very simple. There's not a lot to it.
Especially the fact that it became a hit.
Yeah.
Like that really surprised me.
There's a uniqueness to it that is just memorable.
Yeah. It's interesting, like the relationship between the director's visual style and kind of instincts and then Robin Williams' performance, which I think is, I don't know how it's incredibly solid, but it never like breaks free of what the director's doing. It's just, it is a part of this very relaxed kind of muted picture that he's doing.
I think that's one of the things that there was something about this movie, which I do like. I think that is undeniably like is good. It is well made. Yeah. But there was something that was a little bit frustrating about watching this movie because I feel like this movie does not come close to its potential.
No.
Like that's what I mean before about like picking your projects, where I think that from the outside in, maybe it's just about giving it to a filmmaker who's has a little bit more experience. This was like, he's only made this guy, Romanek has only made 3 films, one in 1985, this movie, and then another film.
But he did do the Hurt music video, which, man.
Not only did he do the Hurt music video, he did the Shake It Off music video. He did Sandcastles by Beyonce.
He did the story of OJ.
He did the story. Yeah, he actually is like a very an excellent music video director. But
Can't Stop the Feeling.
Of course, a classic that we all did. He do the Trolls version? With the Trolls.
No, I think you're looking at Can't Stop Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, he did that too.
Oh,
he has
a monopoly on Can't Stop.
Can't Stop is an excellent music video.
Yeah, he did that
excellent early 2000s aesthetic. Great early 2000s video.
Criminal by Fiona Apple. That's another really good one.
But it makes sense that he's a music video guy.
That's the thing.
But he wrote the script.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of where the problems are.
Exactly.
it has like the Taxi Driver style monologues about process and about like, isn't the world so fucked up, man? Isn't it just so fucked up out there? But like people never even notice the little things in life. And like stuff like that is just, it's
the wasp on the melon or the watermelon. There was
the
one.
The wasp on the watermelon.
Yeah, he's like, people don't notice the little things, like the wasp on the watermelon. Why is that your go-to, bro? He said 2 other things that were insane.
I notice that every time.
I know. I would always notice that because I'd say, like, get this wasp away from me. You ever been stung by a wasp?
Every other day.
No, it sucks.
But like, I think that there's just something about this where it has moments of greatness, and most of those moments teeter around Robin. Yeah, so I think that Robin fucking rules in this movie.
I think he does an awesome job.
He's really good.
Like you said, like anything more that I wanted out of him, I don't think was asked of him. Yeah, I don't think that
I just wanted him to go more unhinged. We'll talk about the Robins of it,
interesting.
But
it ends up being more quiet.
Yeah, I wanted the parts like the plus 0.3 where it's just like it's fucking blue. Like I wanted more of that. Just like kind of like this guy he's like fucking he's so like maniacally
insular,
exactly, insular. That's a perfect word. Like
you can tell that he has less experience writing than he does shooting. Like that's the main takeaway I had with this movie. I didn't even look into what he's done before, but like the script is just full of convention. It's full of trope. It's full of, for example, it starts with the ever famous, so tell me what happened here. The police interview.
Yeah, I will say, and I keep forgetting because the ending of this movie, the last scene where they really want to explain him, I think sucks so hard. I think it sucks, really but I really don't think you needed it. I think that just like this abuse thing, they just
you can tell by the way he's dressed what happened to him when he was a kid.
Or you don't.
It's clumsy. I do think you need something. You can't just leave it
Maybe he's just lonely. But twisted in that way.
I like the idea of it more than I like the execution. It's just the lead up to that just isn't done very effectively script wise. It's so you start with the police interview where they name the name of the person that he has done something to. Mm-hmm. All mystery is immediately removed from the script. Like at that point, there is no more mystery. That because right after they're like, so why do you hate? And then what's this character's name?
Oh, Yorkin.
The worst.
What a fucking name.
The worst actor in the whole movie. One of the worst actors I've ever seen.
Who looks like he should be a stunt double for Rob Thomas. This man
Michael
is not
Vartan.
a real person.
I was going to say, like, the convention I wasn't even as bothered by because it's done solidly in Robin's case, but the entire family tip to tail is a problem.
They stink.
Movie. They all are bad.
They stink.
I didn't notice that when I was 11 watching it now.
If I watched this when I was 11, I would be like, holy fuck.
I think at that, when I was 11, like just the pitch was enough to like get
me. Because it's a very cool idea.
And now though, watching it and just the two parents who are both
duds,
Rob Thomas lookalike, and then the Gap model from 2000.
I think it's interesting that the movie encapsulates like the idea of a guy who is so disconnected that he is finding so much meaning in these boring ass people.
100%. I like that. That's cool. The problem is when it starts by being so explicit about, so why do you hate Will Yorkin so much? Cut to family in the house. Very cool mid-century modern house. It's aged very well, to be honest.
Yeah, great proto.
Aged relatively well. He's on a Mac, which is cool. Also very cool. He's designing a chair, which is also cool.
Damn.
But you cut to him, you get the gist of him being sort of an absentee father, but like they had this idyllic life. Cut to mom and kid going to see Cy at the photo thing, and he knows everything about them.
They have a rapport.
At that point in the movie, you kind of can fill in the blanks for the first 2 acts of the movie in your head. You can be like, okay, so he clearly is way too enthusiastic to see her. He is stalking her. He knows everything about her. They show him writing down that he wants extra copies of all the photos. You're like, okay, cool. Yeah. So this is the vibe. Like he's a stalker. That takes away from the weight of a lot of reveals later on in the movie. Later on in the movie, there are visual cues that are where you're supposed to be like, oh shit, he's crazy, but you know that because I know
more crazy.
There's a way. There's a way to do like what you're saying. Like there's a way to to write the film, and I don't mean just like script wise, but write it through like the filmmaking language of the movie, where if we're going to present him from like this stalker angle up front, then I want to spend the entire movie behind the eyes of Sai. I want to spend the whole movie like in his twisted head. If that's the route that we're going to take here, I want to go like full Taxi Driver with it. I want to go Joker. I want to see like how twisted this guy is.
I think the approach of him being so stunted and just incapable of like emoting anything real, like that is a cool approach where like maybe that'd be hard to get behind his eyes because there's so little that you see on the surface. Well, but everything around him is also so uninteresting and so
that's the thing. If it's between him and like a really
go with that
bad couple of actors, it's a different equation. You're right.
I think that another so like another route to take, it's an interesting angle that this story has, but I don't think it does a good enough job of like really diving down this, is the whole idea of what a parasocial relationship is and like how you develop this parasocial relationship with people who bring you their family photos. They bring you every trip that they're on. It's like you are their Uncle Sai going on all these trips with them.
Yeah.
And
it's like you are in the picture.
This movie's on my mind because I just watched it for the first time in the last couple of weeks. But The King of Comedy is like one of the reasons about that movie that has aged so well is that it's like a perfect movie about parasocial relationships, and especially as the years go on, we have more and more parasocial relationships with people we see on TV. Podcasts are huge for that. That it's just like, oh, my friends released another episode today. Yeah. Like it's
Chris Ryan is my best friend.
Yeah, you can't say that. Where does he work again? I don't know who that is. But like, I think that that's something that, again, this movie could have done a much better job of tackling. And maybe part of that is just that these actors are bad. So I don't get the parasocial aspects of their life. That I'm like, oh, cool. The kid had a birthday. Yeah, so does every fucking child. Oh, he had balloons there. Cool. He got cake on face.
The idea that like
get over it, kid.
So obsessed with the.
I forgot to tell you guys, I'm a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I don't believe.
But the idea that he's so obsessed with the mundanity of this boring cult. That's an interesting idea. I think that might be reading more into than what the movie's doing. One of the interesting things to me is like, yeah, he's a stalker, but he's not like stalking the woman per se. He loves the family unit. He's not in love with her. No,
like it's
he's not.
He just wants to have a family.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be the dad. He wants to be their uncle.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
Cool.
Just imagine being down so bad that you just want to be an uncle.
No, the worst part for me,
you just want to be Seth Rogen and the Fableman so bad.
I know you won't fuck me.
Maybe down the road that he's angling for that.
No, you got to work up to it. You know, you got to get there if you want it. You know, everything. You just have to show up.
That's what I have to do.
That's and he's not even showing up. He's like an abstract showing up. One of the things I love about this movie is it captures this very specific time period of like this 1 hour photo.
Yeah.
Like we have digital photography in our pocket. Like we have social media. We can share our photos instantly. There was a time when you had mass access to film photography, cheap film photography, and you had to go somewhere to get it developed.
And it is an interesting story angle from there to be like, the person developing that can just look at it. They have to look at it.
Yeah.
I love the sequence at the beginning where you go through, it's like a Rolodex of all the people that he knows everything about.
Speaking of,
so cool.
Did you guys recognize the porn guy?
No.
Oh, was that a guy?
You're going to be so mindfucked. I had to Google it to make sure. It's Jim Rash. It's Dean.
No.
What?
No.
What? The porn guy is the Dean. What? Here, look at him.
It's fucking the Dean from...
Yeah, I want to see the Dean. The Dean being the porn man.
I can't believe I didn't clock that.
Oh my God,
it's the
so
Dean.
Right. That's gay Dean right there.
Oh man.
Great. I'm begging you to be a gay Dean. Yeah, I love that aspect of this movie because that was something that didn't exist before and doesn't exist now. So it's this very specific, like late 90s,
my mom
early
used to
2000s.
My mom used to do it at the Eckards. that doesn't exist anymore. Also, by the way, bought out by CBS.
Everything there is dead. We were looking at the ghosts of like 1,000 industries.
And playing into that, because he's working at like a mega store, like a Walmart type place.
Yeah, that's the worst part. It's like like a broader store.
And I love the look of the Save Mart. I love the way that fucking place looks. I'm assuming they spent a good amount of money on set decoration for that. Like they either like started with a warehouse from scratch, or they bought out a storefront that existed and then just redecorated. But it is so white.
The thing is that this director was really talented in telling the story like through visuals. You don't need the writing, and maybe you shouldn't have it with him, but like just the purgatory of that man living in this house.
Yeah, he's worked there for 20 years.
That's insane.
At that Save Mart.
And then he just gets canned.
Yeah.
Well, he was swiping on the side for his weird voyeurism.
For 20 years, and he's just now getting her.
I looked at the books for the first time ever because you're so boring. It turns out
building his wall.
Yeah.
It's so long.
It was like, it was all really well done. His boss is Lumberg from Office Space.
Yeah. That felt like a easy little layup. Like, we'll just get the guy.
We'll get fucking Gary Cole up in here and just
he's great.
Yeah, I will say before I get the funniest down bad moment in this entire movie is when like you have one of the many awkward moments between Sai and the family, which I think are all very effective because there is that need. That unspoken, but then it cuts to the home and the kid's like, yo, this guy is so lame. Like, I feel bad he's so lame. You're teaching me like cringe feelings from a young age.
I was like,
you're teaching me empathy at like the age of 8 because I see this man. I'm like, he's so lonely.
He's so hard to look at. This like 10-year-old saying that. That's rough, man. That
was nice to me, honestly. I was like, he's an empath. Mom does.
Do you guys recognize that kid?
No.
He's in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie as like the young Will.
Oh, he's young Will?
Yeah, he's young Will.
Good for him.
I knew that I recognized that kid from somewhere. I was like, it was right around this time. 2003.
No, sorry to be mean.
They saw his working 1 hour photo and they're like, this is young Will.
Bring in young Will from his boring turn.
I don't want to sound like too negative on this movie because I did like actually really like it, but I think this is kind of like this is a movie of scenes.
Yeah.
And like, I don't necessarily mean that in a bad thing. Like Babylon is a movie of scenes and Babylon is the greatest movie ever made.
It's true.
So confirmed. And like, I think that kind of pays that makes sense given Romanek. Is that what his name is?
Mark
Romanek.
I'll believe it if you tell
Romanek.
me.
Mark Romanek, his like background in making like music videos. He knows aesthetic.
No, there's that dream sequence moment where it just cuts to him walking into the home and you don't realize. And that is genuinely like a striking, disorienting.
It was awesome.
That was
felt
so cool.
it in my gut.
Watching the Jets
really
on
well
TV.
done.
But then it's also a movie where you've got the couple arguing and he's yelling at her for buying things. And she's like, you're neglectful.
That's just like stock shit that like if any decent screenwriter had like a pass at this, they would fix those scenes. And they're not the most important scenes, but like they do matter.
I was really expecting a they came together style moment of like they turn around, the kids right there and they're like, oh, Mark. And he just like runs off to his room. Like it's bordering on that level of almost like parody.
I love you, Unky Sai.
Yeah, it's
Sai.
I watched it being like, all these characters, this family feels like they should be in like that remake of the Fog. Like that level of horror movie, like that. They're in 2000s.
They're in a horror remake.
Yeah, like just like the bad ones are like the striking covers and nothing else at the Blockbuster. Like that's their feeling.
Ghost ship.
They're so nuts.
It's a weird movie when you really think about like there is talent here and there is a void of talent in other places.
It's just the husband's like, I have a chair due at 11 a.m.
See, I forgot that he was designing a chair in the beginning. So when I was watching the movie, I'm like, what's your fucking job? He's just like, do you know how hard I work?
I'm rotating a 3D table.
Graphic design with tables is my fucking passion. I swear to God. Yeah. He's bad.
He's a CEO of a business and he's just out here designing his own tables and chairs. No, but it is, and of course he's cheating because like he didn't. again, they did not think twice about like the conventions of storytelling
Well,
in this movie.
they
at
had
all.
a fetish for creating very identifiable evidence of their adultery through photos.
I know.
Dude, yeah,
That's
you
their
know when
thing.
you're cheating on your girl and you're like, I should definitely have like 18 of our 26 allotted photos of just us like licking each other's faces.
And remember, do they have to like do like they like wind up the dial for everyone? So they're like, kiss the neck, all right, kiss the earlobe, like look at the camera, all in the same little like spot.
Hey man, film used to be cheap.
That's true.
And,
also-
he's like, by the way, develop these wherever you want.
Develop them
Don't
at the Save Mart.
Fuck.
Do not go to anywhere else except for this one guy. There's a guy Cy there.
His
He's-
machine is so well calibrated.
It's not off at all. Not a single hint of blue in there.
But then the break happens where he realizes that like his perfect little dollhouse is not what he wanted to be, and like that all works, and you're like, fuck, it's good again. And it's
Yeah.
like, what do you?
Shit starts happening.
You know, and but Hunter, you raised a good point earlier about his turn for the more deranged at the very end, and I didn't know how to feel about that because the whole performance was so muted up until that very last bit where he starts to get a little wacky when he's making them take pictures. Like,
are you talking? Oh no.
Robin Williams.
I was more so referencing the guy coming in, the calibration guy.
oh, that
into
yeah,
the
yeah,
Save
yeah.
Mart.
Him losing it. Yeah,
I loved that scene. I do love the very end though. I
It's-
really like, especially the thing that like he didn't kill them. He's just like,
Oh, yeah.
I was just taking my photos.
And then the photos are just.
He's just like, it's the fucking.
I thought he was
No.
about to lay out those
Here's the
photos
thing.
in that room.
I
They were
was
going
gonna
to be
say.
like dick and balls.
Yeah, it's like flaccid dick in mouth.
Just
No.
crying.
God.
But the thing is,
So wait,
It has the
doesn't
fucking-
he like tie them up?
No.
No, he hasn't
He
tied
has a
them up.
big fucking knife, which
It's
I like.
a
That's
knife.
more than
Okay.
a gun. It's like a Crocodile Dundee knife. I have no idea where he got that
Honestly,
He
knife.
steals it
Here's
from
the
the
thing.
Save Mart
Oh, there you go.
before he
See.
quits.
Here's the thing: is that like two people on? I know it's a big knife. Between the two of you, you can take out
Yeah.
a guy with a knife.
But bro,
like,
that's
fine.
a huge knife. Like that is a
It's like that-
scary.
he got a
knife.
hunting knife. He
The
had to unlock the
Okay,
case.
He
I
did have to
retract.
unlock the
I
case.
apologize.
The thing that annoyed me about that scene was because at the very end,
Yeah.
not the scene itself is fun. The scene itself is like really like fucked up. It's kind of like it's uncomfy in like a good way.
Yeah.
The ending of like I took pictures of the little things around the room while this was happening. It's the fucking American beauty of like,
Yes,
isn't this
yes,
so
yes,
beautiful
yes,
seeing a
yes.
trash bag in the wind?
But it's dumber somehow.
It's so
Like-
much. It's so dumb. It's just
Yeah.
dumb. And I
like
hate it.
I'm a
I hate it.
photographer and I can easily understand like the beauty of the random moment. And like, bro, you're not selling this at all. Like
It's
I'm a
not.
mark and you're not selling this. Like, to be honest with you.
So are we just? I mean, we're spoiling
Yeah.
Ernie. Or okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just
were we
let me
not?
read.
It's been
Let
a
me
while. I
read
don't
the
remember
IMDb log line.
Yeah, this is a great time to do that.
Wait, were we not supposed to be spoiling? I was like, the movie's the movie.
It doesn't matter. Watch the movie.
We're in
Yeah.
a post 9/11 America. at this
let's
point in
rate
Robin
let's
lore.
rate the IMDb log line. Okay?
I was just.
I
thinking
want
All
about
right.
I want some ratings
All
for
right.
how good this log line is.
Is this the poster or is this just like line?
Just the IMDb
Okay.
log line. We can rate the box art too. We'll do that
All
in a
right.
second.
All right.
That's a good segment.
A mentally unstable photo developer targets an upper middle class family after his obsession with them becomes more sick and disturbing than any of them could imagine.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What do you get when you cross a mentally unstable photographer with a middle class family?
You get a 6 out of 10 movie at best.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
I think I'm not.
I
liked
gave
watching
it
this.
7.
Okay,
I had 3.5 stars.
I
This is
did
the-
not watch this and feel like, oh, my childhood was like a lie. I'm like, no, this is about right. This
exactly.
is anyway, but back to the logline. I'm gonna give that a 6. It got it across.
It's fine.
It's for my taste. It's almost too revealing, but you have to sell the movie.
Yeah.
Also,
So it can't just
the
be
movie
like-
itself is revealing. The movie
Yeah.
is revealing in the first
Very
5
quickly,
minutes. So
you're like, yeah, he's
it's
gonna
not
just
a-
be obsessed with her.
that's the thing. I think that this is a movie where like we play the game on here of just like cut 5 minutes, add 5 minutes, like just cut the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you at least have a thriller.
It's
you're
yeah.
questioning
There's a
more
build.
of
There'd
like
be a build.
how can this work out?
Exactly.
There's at least some part of you who's like maybe this guy will find a fucked up way to like insert
Mhm.
himself in this family.
I have a better log line.
All right.
a Neon Genesis Evangelion enthusiast gets fired from his job and assaults people with a knife.
There we go. I will say, and I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I really thought, I could not stop thinking about it during the movie. I'm sure y'all did too, but like comparing this to Insomniac, which is a very similar thing for him. Obviously Insomniac's a much better movie.
That's next on the docket.
I think I like him more in this. I think
there's more of him in this for sure.
That is true. I think he's doing, I think he's channeling that muted kind of mania better in this than Insomniac.
He is like a very stabilizing force to this movie. Like he makes it better. And that's not been the case in a lot of the iffier movies in the Robin series.
Well, one thing we're seeing now that we're gonna see in this little section here that we're about to cover is Robin as the villain.
Yeah,
that's not something we've really seen at this point. And I think in the 21st century, he's like, okay, I'm ready for people to see me as not like the weird, quirky, funny mania guy, but like more like the threatening, creepy, crazy guy.
I think that also part of it is like, I think it is almost actively fighting against the typecast.
Oh yeah,
like it's just
that's
really
what this whole movie is.
It's this movie. It's Death to Smoochie to an extent.
It's
just like
Insomniac.
It's Insomniac. Which funnily enough, all three of these movies came out in 2002. So 2002.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Post 9/11 was an interesting time for Robin. Really trying to find himself.
A lot of stuff got delayed toward the end of that year.
I don't want to like. I really do think though, like we shouldn't undersell the success of like he doesn't seem like he's trying too hard in this.
No,
that's kind of the finest.
What I wrote down, I'm liking Robin so far. He's doing the right amount.
And that scene where he's just standing in the kitchen holding the water like frozen, like that is a good way to convey his thing.
Because that was while the kid was like having the empath conversation with the mom where he's like, "Mommy, I'm sad."
They're like, well, let's all just think there and just put good like, vibes to Robin.
Yeah,
the last really muted Robin performance was all the way back in Awakenings. Like my guy was asleep.
Have we really not have like a good muted performance since then?
I mean, unless you count Bicentennial
World's
Man.
Greatest Dads.
Bicentennial Man is a little because he's literally acting like a robot,
but
and he does not get to have any zaniness
in this movie. It's like it's calibrated so well. Like he's really good in this.
Yeah.
He is being so small, so quiet, so reserved. There is that moment at the end where he does get to flip out, or moments, I guess, because there's a couple. But I think that for what this movie is, he is nailing it. I know there's a lot around it that doesn't quite work, but he's fucking great.
It's a lot of like, first two acts, our introductory scenes are just out of order, I think. And so the result is a lack of tension when there should be some for maybe the middle portion of the movie. Then third act, a plan of action happens. Like things actually start happening. He figures out Papa cheating and he gets fired at about the same time. And that's a lot of action to be happening in this movie in which like nothing was propelling the story for like maybe 40 minutes, I think. We do have the really cringy mall scene where he
oh my god,
that's tough. Because he like
reading like a book about love.
The one for me was when he gives the toy to the kid at the soccer match and the kid doesn't tell his mom, where I'm like, wait, you should probably tell your mom that bro showed
this guy's
up
scary.
The photo guy just showed up.
That's script stuff where I'm like, this did not get a pass or this did not get the work it needed.
I figured the issue was going to end up being like the dad realizes that he's a creep and like the mom is like, no, he's lonely, but then he just is a creep. Then things really start happening a lot. So he sort of hatches his plan as he's being fired. He slips the photo of the cheating into the mom's photos. Follows her on the road.
It's funny that it doesn't work though.
It doesn't work, which is I like that as like a plot thing because like that it takes a lot to destabilize a very wealthy marriage.
Tables paved well. I mean,
and it's also
2002.
Well, it's also just like
tables.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't say anything that day. You know what I mean?
People were worried,
he wanted
like,
her to
you know,
go in there and be like, "I'm gonna go be with Cy forever."
I love these sitting there like, what the fuck? Do
but
something.
not in a sexual way.
Yeah,
Only in
no.
a companionship
I'm gonna
way.
go hug Cy.
I'm gonna give Cy like a friendly handshake and like words of affirmation.
So I like that didn't work, and then he has to that then propels him to take the next step, which is forcing in his head, which I think this is cool and makes sense for like someone with child brain, is like, then I'm going to make them do worse stuff.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm going to make them do disgusting shit then on camera. Because then she'll definitely dump him.
He doesn't even take
I know.
photos
That's
of
the thing. Because he has like a break before then.
It's like two different ideas are happening here at the same time, and none of them are communicated.
Well, and
like
it's also it's also after 40 minutes of zero ideas happening. So like that, you know, it's an issue of too much after not enough.
But then you have the execution of it, which is, I mean, for me, like Cy, like leaving the room and you not knowing what he did. There was tension there.
I
like,
loved it.
Fucking
I love that.
You know?
Before that, I love the little sequence of him in the hotel on the phones figuring out how to get their room. Like that was good writing. Like he did a good job acting it, but I was like, wow, the writing is picked up here.
Have y'all seen any other movies this director made? Because I'd really like to compare.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot. I mean,
he made two other movies.
Yeah, he made something called Static.
Oh, of course.
Which is, it just looks like a, doesn't exist type movie. And then he made something called Never Let Me Go with Andrew Garfield.
But he did not write that one.
Carey Mulligan.
Oh, Alex Garland wrote that. Holy shit.
We should watch it. That sounds way better, to be honest.
Interesting. I mean, I love Andrew Garfield.
No, I mean, this guy's got a visual thing. Clearly he just don't write. Like, it's no offense, dude. Like, you're very talented in other ways. Like, you had an idea, a cohesive thing here. You had visuals so nice and so cohesive again that we can understand what you're doing even without them talking. That is not the easiest thing. That is a very deft thing to do.
Exactly.
And then you've got the IKEA family. Then that shit sucks. You know?
Just like as someone who's had to read textbooks on both visual and screenwriting stuff, the script feels out of a textbook in a lot of ways, and the visuals feel like there's actual art as the motivator behind them a lot of the time. Speaking of pretty annoying over the top script stuff, when he is trying to escape the hotel, which is very effective momentum wise. Like, I love it. I like the sequence. He walks through a conference where a guy is explaining how to undo damage done to the retina.
Jeez.
Hey,
I was like, come on.
I have a question.
Please don't do this.
Would you rather have all of your personal photography of your life seen by this guy, or like the United States, like NSA surveillance program?
I feel like he's a freak, but he'd probably appreciate the craft more. So I don't want to show it to some suit.
Well, no, the correct answer is that Cy now works for the NSA. Is the guy who is watching everything.
I was gonna say, I could do a sequel.
Well, because the thing is like, the choice has been made. I
don't think
we're already we've signed the terms and conditions.
But I don't think the NSA isn't going to do like sexual trauma to me.
That's true.
Maybe.
I mean, that's what we hope.
If you're one of the unlucky ones, I guess.
Boy, this podcast has changed a lot since the last time I was on. Damn,
it's different when you're live.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of what happens in the hotel is very effective. Like, it has momentum, it has tension.
Do you know why? Because it's quiet. It's silent. Sorry, not to.
And it's one of those things where it's the little things about this movie that like work really well. It's being in the Save Mart and it's so fucking white. It's understanding Robin Williams naturally just looks like a person who is like loving, and he kind of looks like your grandpa or looks like your uncle until you give him bleach blonde hair and a comb over. And then it's like, this guy's a fucking
This guy is
creep.
in the Stand
like,
video.
It's literally, it's that simple of a fix that just automatically makes him so much more scary.
He looks like a gecko that's like learned to like blend in with the wall, and he's like somehow standing in front of it. And like, his color is the same as everything around him.
Yeah.
It is like, when I was watching it, I looked up this guy was a music video director. I'm like, yeah, okay, of course. That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
this character is a guy who's not, someone that immediately pops out as an interesting person.
Yeah.
It's a very good balance between like someone that is very weird and particular and like, oh, that's a very particular unique type of person, but also just kind of blends in.
Well, it's that first scene that you get where he's developing the photos, which is like so well done, where it's like, oh, this is a guy who's like, he's interested in process. Like this is a guy who's just like really into like, he is meticulous. This is his craft.
Yeah. And something, I mean, I view this as more as like reinforcing the visual motif than making sense on a character level, which I think might speak to this movie at large. But like when he's at home, he's still wearing like the button down and like the very neutral tones.
Staring at his wall.
And like, yeah, like usually people dress down, but he's still doing that. It's more like you are part of this visual thing we are putting together here.
It brings him comfort.
And his home is wildly beige and normal, aside from the giant wall.
And like this is obvious, but it does work. Like I'm not mad about it. Like it's all good. It's just such an interesting movie to talk about because like there's a lot of things that suck and there's a lot where like this, it comes together,
Yeah.
So I want to get to the categories,
okay,
but I do want to highlight this.
We should talk more about
media.
Oh, the physical. Yeah. We should talk about the poster. Do you guys like this poster?
I do and don't. I don't think it
nice.
Points that he's like, it doesn't speak to any menace, but it's an interestingly composed poster.
Can I tell you,
he looks crazy.
The text so much.
Oh yeah.
I think that if you just look at the poster itself is really cool, but the fact that it's just some like normal ass text, it's like this is like my fucking papyrus right here. I'm just looking at like, man, they really just went Arial black on this.
Hey, there's nothing
DVD.
wrong with Arial.
No, I know, but it's
This
just
is
like man,
Roboto.
that's just so it's just sitting there. There's nothing about it that's capturing your eye in any way.
We do have a Peter Travers from Rolling Stone pull quote.
All right.
Truly, deeply scary. That's
how
they're selling this
You
thing.
could sell. The thing is that like he looks so odd that like something's off, but it doesn't point to. It's still muted. Everything about this movie is such like a very Hunter. When you said like we were joking like, oh, guy, I want to put it on every night to go to sleep. I'm like, yeah, I could fall asleep to this movie. Absolutely. I thought you were serious for a hot second.
Yeah, by the time shit starts happening, you're asleep.
Yeah,
there's problems where like sometimes we watch like cartoons to go to sleep. I'm like, this is too bright. Like I can't deal with this.
Like the poster doesn't show this is like this man is a threat. It shows this man is very weird, and like you can almost see this as like a effective poster, but it's just missing a little bit. And I feel like that almost speaks to the movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, we're missing having the period of what is going on with this guy.
Yeah,
we knew too soon what was going on with him, and. What the thing is, there is still plenty of mystery to unravel within that. We don't know what he did. I ended up really sort of liking the choice of what he did. It obviously would have been stupid if he just killed the guy because that's the most obvious. But it was relatively interesting, and we don't know his motivation. We don't know why. We don't know
the end.
We don't know what he. Yeah.
We really laid
that
it
knocks it down a point for me. I gotta be honest.
What you don't like his little Holden Caulfield moment?
This was me. That little boy was me, and it's like, all right. Like,
it's because of my trauma that I hurt you.
CP.
You're actually talented at like visual storytelling and like living in some ambiguity. Like I don't know why you want to like throw that out at the very end.
That also speaks to most of the VO throughout the movie.
Yeah.
It's just you just don't need it. The cop that's interviewing him is so patient for letting him ramble.
I like the cop. He's just like that guy. Well, also, the cop is
I
don't know. But
he's been in stuff. No, he has been.
I enjoyed him.
The tall guy, the main
with
guy
the mustache,
who's with
It's just if I'm a cop and I'm like, I'm trying to get out of there. I'm like, listen, man. Like,
sometimes cops they just want to fill time, man. They don't.
And the cops are just like, yeah, you know what? I will show you your photos. These are your photos.
Well,
I'm gonna lay these out. These aren't evidence.
This guy's such a bummer. He makes everyone feel bad around him. That I kind of look at it as like, yeah, this guy's just so he didn't technically hurt anyone, but like the point being, it is that like I almost kind of like that even the cop is like, all right, you're just so weird. I guess I'm gonna be kind of nice to you by cop standards,
I do want to just highlight once again, the Evangelion of this all. Shout out
action
to
figure.
Robin. Robin, who actually insisted that they put a Neon Genesis Evangelion
I did not
figure
know
there
that.
because Robin Williams was a big Ava fan.
That's hilarious.
Robin Williams, fun fact, was just a huge anime head. Like
Sure.
was really into Cowboy Bebop. I know Akira, he said before, was like one of his favorite movies
Damn,
ever.
Robin.
But Evangelion actually has like, that is one of the more subtle things because Evangelion is about like a boy who's kind of growing up in a situation or has a situation thrust upon him and is naturally kind of recoiling from it.
Yeah.
So there's
But to be
something in there.
the nitpicky jerk, he also pronounces it Evangelion, which I know
he
is
does
not
pronounce
correct.
Evangelion, which
It's the character.
It's okay.
It's
Yeah,
Sai.
that's
It's
the
not
Sai,
Robin.
yeah.
Sai's a fucking
Yeah.
freak. You
Sai's
should not
like,
say that.
what is this? Neon Evangelion?
Yvonne? Let me
That's a good point, though.
read
That's cool.
let me read the other quotes on the back of this. So they quote Us Weekly. Robin Williams delivers a brave and terrifying performance.
He's so brave.
I agree with half of that.
Brave.
Brave. Yeah,
Brave.
dude.
We
I-
gotta stop.
That's
with
not.
film
I
criticisms.
no. He's just. There's no energy. There's not enough energy to be brave. That's not an insult. It's just not that.
And Vanity Fair says, will likely do for snapshots what Psycho did for showers.
Damn, bro.
So that isn't right. That one didn't age well,
That's just
but
not
you know.
it.
And then
There really hadn't been any movies about like pictures.
yeah,
Yeah.
about weird guys with
Weird guy.
weird film guys.
Dr. Hitchcock paging.
So the first sentence of this little paragraph here is Robin Williams delivers his finest hour in one of the most absorbing, effective thrillers in years.
I want to agree with you, Box. I
It's-
just
The
can't.
thing is that like, and that's one of the things that like coming out of this, despite all the things that we're talking about that are good, that are like objectively, this movie is well made and there is a craft to this, that I just left kind of frustrated because I was
Yeah.
like, it gets close to that. Like the signs are there. Like it had the ceiling of like a 9.5 and we just did not come close to that. I think that
Yeah.
the potential was all laid out there in front of us and it just didn't
Yeah.
click.
They have the photo of the family with him, Uncle
Uncle
Sai.
Si.
Uncle Sai.
I guess I'm like right where you are, but I'm looking at the more glass half full way where I'm like, there is enough craft here, but also, it's not the number 23. Like it is.
It's
Yeah,
that
it
is
does
true.
land a
That's
lot
a
of what it
masterpiece.
does.
So it's not that.
Yeah, I felt
It's a 23 out of 10.
I
I
felt-
always say about the number 23.
We should do that.
I think there should be more movies like this that are relatively simple.
Yeah.
And I left feeling affected. That's more than a lot of movies can say, to be honest.
Yeah, man.
This wasn't a cable movie, like a bigger
Yeah.
cable. It
Yeah.
really feels like it just belongs on like TNT at like
Right.
a 3 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon.
Maybe it was. Maybe we're too young for that.
There's too much.
Maybe
Maybe
it had
there's
a short
a little
life.
too much kiddie porn talk.
I think
There was
yeah,
there
true.
was a lot of
I think if you just either cut the dialogue or touched it up and do less of that, because that's not what your strengths are, and then cut that opening, like you said, Drew, to like have a build. I think that's what would make it better. Not to be like the armchair football.
Yeah,
guy,
and
but-
these are usually the movies that we end up sounding too critical of, just because we see it. You
Yeah,
know,
it's there.
It's like the C student as opposed to the F student.
But the funny
F student, you're like, come on, fuck you, you're a piece of shit.
But in the context of Robin Williams, I think it's like one of his high notes. Not the highest, but it's higher.
I think he does absolutely
Yeah.
awesome in this movie. He does a great job. He won the Saturn Award for Best Actor.
Ooh,
Eriq
not the
Robin.
Saturn.
the Saturn.
By the way, is
Saturn.
that are the Saturn Awards involved in our movie?
I thought he won the
No.
Neptune
Damn
Award.
it, why not?
not?
I would win if the Saturn Awards
If the
were.
Saturns were looped in, yeah, and the Saturns that Woman Talking is cleaning up right now.
He was nominated for a Critics' Choice Award and a
Nice.
Dallas Fort Worth Film Critics Award.
Oh, good for Dallas Fort Worth.
Damn.
Again, he's great in this. Like I don't think there's if we're gonna get to the categories in a second, but this might have the widest gap between like how good Robin is versus how low it is on the Robin meter. If we
Yeah.
our recalibrated Robin meter
Yeah.
of like how much of like an affectionate uncle he is that you want to give a hug to, this is
Yeah.
one of the lowest
very
entries
cold.
yet. He's so cold and
Yeah.
like unsettling whenever he's showing up to a fucking child soccer game is like, oh, good shot,
yeah,
kid.
those things hit.
Here's the thing. that is a bad coach because he should have called the police immediately.
Hey, you're good, right? All right, later.
All right, I get the fuck out of here.
It's 2002. This isn't 1954.
No.
Like there is still some security.
9/11 just happened. I'm sure
We're
everyone's
definitely-
wigged out.
That outfit
They're like,
was already kind of creepy.
He's white and he's got blonde hair. He's definitely not a creepo terrorist.
Wow.
Fucking like this Nazi born in like a milk vat. Like
Yeah,
whatever.
there's
this
a-
guy.
The guy who was just sitting in the bleachers going, woo!
at the kids' game.
What has more missed potential? This or the Russian Pinocchio film that we just recently
Christ.
talked about?
There's no potential there. That was negative potential. That sucked life out of me.
But what if we got the writers from the Russian Pinocchio to rewrite 1 Hour Photo?
What if we like put it through Google Translate twice?
Sigh, when are you gonna let me develop photos of my own?
Who would be a writer or a voice that would be better in this?
Todd Fields.
Shut up. You're talking about Todd
Phillips.
Todd Phillips.
No, Todd Fields would rule.
Todd Fields. I don't know, bro.
Todd Phillips is who I want to
the
write.
Finch man is a natural.
Yeah.
Would come up in the conversation, especially back then,
Yeah.
because he would bring a lot of like the stylized shit that this guy also brought.
Mhm.
If he were
Music video
directing.
director.
Yeah, exactly. Like he really did some wild shit in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Who else?
Is this the same year as Panic Room? Didn't Panic Room come out?
I don't hate Todd Field. I think that could have actually
Todd Field
that'd be an
actually-
interesting little pace.
Here's
to
the thing.
it.
After
It's
Tar
coming out in like
could-
2035.
all right, so what if it's 1 Hour Photo, but it's Lydia Tarr?
Oh shit,
Lydia Tarr
she's too classy. Too
would
expressive.
never
Who-
work.
Let's
in this.
let's make a new game, which is what character should Lydia Tarr play in the remake?
Yoshi.
Um,
Why haven't we talked about Yoshi?
Sly
dude,
Cooper.
Yoshi rules. Yoshi's great. I like the fact that like
Is that the assistant?
yeah. That Robin Williams is just openly just like, yeah, he's probably cutting all the photos in half, and it's just like, Yoshi, I'm glad you were always good to me. Just like, is this guy like a piece of shit you're throwing
Yoshi,
under the
you're
bus?
cool.
Or do we
Don't
like,
come to 1 Hour Photo tomorrow.
God.
All right.
He makes Yoshi develop the most unsettling photos of all time of the boss's
Yoshi,
fucking
you're
kid.
cool. Here's my emotional terrorism on your ass.
Yeah,
Like-
here's your boss's kid close up.
that sucked. I'll say it. Like that whole sequence of just like, man, we're just gonna do it and we're just gonna keep zooming in.
I guess
Closer and closer.
the issue with
Where-
that is like, why is he doing it?
Also, the thing is,
Yeah, why
so
did he
based
do
on
that?
the camera that
Just be
he
a
was
dick.
using, he's standing like across the street and
Yeah.
just like filming. Like he's not far away.
He
No.
does have like a dinky little digital.
Yeah, he's definitely just like on the other side of the room, just like shooting a child, zooming in.
It's just that is a perfect example of something that exists for script. It exists for plot because the boss needs something bigger to alert the authorities. There needs to be something truly alarming for him to go to them.
But also, if you
Yeah.
think about it, it just none of it like is built up properly. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
yeah, because
Like,
he is upset that he's fired, but like
who cares then?
why is he delivering like a true threat on this kid's life to his former boss? It's odd.
It's showing, I guess, the idea being it's showing us that he's up the level of his mania. But like we know, we all know,
But
everyone
also,
knows. Look at him.
Because I have been thinking about the ending is like what really they're trying to say, like, is that Robin Williams loves this family so much that he was like trying to almost like he was willing to put himself in jail and like destroy his own life in order to bring this family back together.
I guess.
I think that's kind of what they were trying to even go for. Because then whenever they have those moments of filming everything, he wasn't actually going to film them cheating or like take photos of them cheating.
Yeah.
But afterwards, like knowing that like they could come back together because of like Uncle Si.
Is that how you read
ruined
that
all this.
moment? I read it as
I
more
didn't
ambiguous.
necessarily read it that way, but I have been like thinking is that what they were trying to go
I
for?
don't
and it
don't
just
think he
didn't
wants
land?
them to get back together.
I
No,
looked at it as like, here we all are after this wreckage.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
he really wanted to fuck their lives up, but then when it came time to take photos and do the thing that was done to him, he choked and he just took pictures of the rest of the room. You know,
we saw him taking
Listen, it
pictures
happens
of
to the
them.
best
We
of
did.
us.
what happened to those?
Yeah, where are those?
We're
He was like, smile. You know that?
Well, he used the whole roll on like the corner,
Oh, right.
so he was already out.
he's
he didn't
taking
count.
blanks.
He didn't count the
Shooting blanks.
the
Listen,
exposure.
happens to all of us, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the categories.
For the uninitiated.
Categories.
Okay.
But you see, our first career arc series was with a guy named Nick Cage.
Right.
So
okay.
now it kind of stuck.
Swing away.
First one is best Robinism.
I don't know, man. This what does he even say in this
the
movie?
most Robinism is when he's taking those pictures and he gets a little more deranged. He's like, smile. Like he ups like 3 levels, which is still not that high on the Robin scale, but it's enough to like notice a shift in the temperature.
And like the phone is ringing and he's like, I said that.
Yeah.
I said pose.
I honestly love the Evangelion moment because he's like kind of warm in that.
That is a
there is like he is trying to really connect with the kid.
I guess it depends on how we're reading Robin. Robinism, is this a Robinism or a Robin moment? Because Robinism, that is like the warmest that Robin is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's point in this.
It's a little bit of like what we love about him, just peeking through in that moment.
This kind of ekes over into best quote, but I wrote it down because I didn't write it down. There aren't really a lot of memorable quotes in this movie, but when the calibrator comes by and he has the first big blow up at the save bar, it's just like plus 0.3. It's fucking blue, Larry. That was good. I like that line.
The worst. I mean, the line that I'm like, yeah, you did this for the trailers, where it's like the snapshot was originally a hunting term. I'm like, yeah, I can picture this in the trailer right now. Like I know what this is.
That's a good point.
Any other Robinisms?
Him talking about like getting diddled. Classic
Rob.
Next category is what's the best moment in the whole movie?
I already said mine, but just I think of like the moment where his eyes leak blood, like that is like a pretty like startling moment. That works.
The sequence,
just the quiet of him like holding the glass and like frozen, like that movie's
that's great
pace and tempo, but like the best example of it.
My favorite is the first sort of daydream sequence of him going into the house, and then the choice of them
amazing.
walking in and being like, "Oh, hey, Si, what's up?" I really enjoyed.
Hey,
that.
Uncle Si.
Yeah.
I love just the shots of him in his house with the wall of photos.
The wall of photos was that. I like a good wall of photos.
It's such a good payoff to everything that happens in the movie before then. Just him being creepy and weird, and then like you get to go home with him and you see like, oh, this isn't just him like being weird. And like this is just who he is.
The funny flip side though is that when he goes like, goblin mode and scratches out all of the faces, like, oh, now he's crazy. Okay, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Like, now he's off the fucking chain.
The cops are like, wait. Zoom in on those photos.
I really like the touch of Robin, like about Si. Like he doesn't even have pictures of his own mother, so he has to go to a yard sale and just like buy an old photo of someone else's mom.
I mean, his mom assumingly made him do CP.
Well, so. Yeah. No, I think that is my favorite scene in the entire movie was what you said, Drew, about like the fantasizing being inside the house, specifically because I wrote down my notes. It's every man's dream to shit in a stranger's home.
I like that he poops.
It's every day. It's
cool that he
drop down and just taking a dump. That's like a shot number 2.
Yeah, it's a
like,
main part of the fantasy.
Break in and you're like, first thing I do is open up, check out their fridge, take a shit, throw on the Jets, and just hang out, crack up the cold one.
It's a weird, cool move of the movie that like him wearing someone else's sweater is really upsetting. Where you're like, you can't do that. Don't wear that, man.
Yeah, like he's like a girlfriend.
I love the shots of him just doing his job, just working the machine, working the film, handling that celluloid.
It's sort of a love letter to photography.
You're right.
Yeah,
it's a love letter to photography.
I thought that was really well done. And again, just like an encapsulation of a specific time period.
Harry, I have to ask you, because as someone who works in photography and also journalism, what's better, 1 hour photo or She Said?
Oh man, that's tough.
They're getting a lot of comparisons this award season.
It's true. It's like, is this the new 1 hour
that have
photo?
Come out?
I would say
I know that you're a sucker for She Said.
I know. I no one has bleach blonde hair, and She Said, I assume. So I gotta hand it to 1 hour photo.
Carrie does have. Carrie Mulligan does have. She's
I would like to apologize to our WBAM Nation. I do not have a letterbox list prepared of movies about photography. I am so sorry.
What are you doing?
I
throw some other ones our way. I know you're gonna have to just like go off of like fucking Google or something.
Yeah, I literally just Googled it. Half of these movies don't exist. Finding Vivian Mayer.
Yeah.
Wait,
The
is that the
Salt of
secret
the
life?
Earth.
The secret life of Walter Mitty?
I guess, is that about photography?
I watched that on a plane. I can't fucking tell you the movie. That movie's about screensavers.
I thought that movie is about the.
It's about
secret
the-
life of Walter Mitty.
It's about that song by Of Monsters and Men.
Yeah, there's also a Jose Gonzalez song.
To a word I say.
Is that in it?
Hell yeah, it's fucking in it.
But then he does the longboard and it's got the Jose Gonzalez thing. Like, yeah, I should go on a vacation. That's what that movie is. I should go take some time to go see some nice things.
You know, I'm about to be on an airplane next week. Maybe Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
It is
It's a perfect airplane movie.
I think so, man. It's pretty good for that.
Okay, next category is what would you do? Fellas, WY.
So we have to insert ourselves into one character's place in this movie. The most relatable
All right,
character. That's
guys,
a toughie
you're
here.
Will Yorkin. You're out here. You're graphic
Did we all pick
designing
Will Yorkin?
tables.
Because I think that's the funniest.
Your job is
Will
tables.
Yorkin.
Your
Okay,
job is tables.
Step number 1, I'm not fucking someone uglier than my wife.
Yeah, so that's
Sorry.
Taking photos.
Step 2, not taking like the most cumbersome
okay,
photos of your fucking
I have a
misdeeds.
question. So is he on like an amateur softball team with this girl? How does he know her?
He was. Yes, he was.
Was
He
it
was
a
on a
softball
softball team.
team?
That is how they met. And he's like, I recognize that softball
That's so
team.
funny. He recognized one photo that he printed however long ago of a softball team. He's like, I bet they fucking.
Yep.
I bet they
fucking-
fuck.
I
I think it's his work softball team. I think they work together because Will's assistant knows her name.
Oh, right.
You know?
Right.
Well, listen, if you gotta get assistant,
I think
There's no way he's playing like in a freestanding softball league.
I don't know. Like in Orlando, you can just
He's
join
the
like a
number one
kickball
draft.
league. Like
Sure.
I don't know, man.
everyone
Maybe-
wants Psy on their team.
That's what their initial fight is about in the beginning. He's like, listen, I gotta play softball. Like,
That's where the crack
They're gonna
started.
have all of this.
They're gonna have me at shortstop
sorry.
this year.
If I
What do
was
you-
Will
what do you
Yorkin,
expect?
I would put more into softball, less into adultery, and I'd be a much happier husband.
I would get my aggression out elsewhere.
I don't know, the wife, Nina, the mom, if you're her, like
She's got to notice a little sooner that he's weird.
yeah.
The second he takes a selfie with her camera,
Yeah, that's a
That's
lot.
to develop.
First selfie,
No.
by the way.
I
No
would
selfie
I
ever.
would simply
Yeah.
just get my photos developed somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
It's
that
so
easy.
convenient though in that
Like
place.
the minute the guy is creepy, it's like I'm never
she's
coming
like,
back.
she's like,
here.
can I actually get Yoshi today?
That is a thing about like this is a time period that we just missed
There
as far
are
as like taking our
options.
photos there. But like, yeah, if there was ever a time where I was like, yo, this dude is like creepy as hell. They live in a city. It's not clear what city it is, but like there is a downtown because they say like, oh man, you live downtown. That's far away from here. So it's presumably a bigger city.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fucking 1 hour photos.
There's more
all over
than
the place.
one
Also,
Kmart. Yeah.
I want to point out this place is called a 1 hour photo. A lot of times he's just like, come pick it up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Well, he's also it's kind of Travis
Is it
Bigley.
1
Like
hour?
he's not very good at his job.
yeah,
He's
he's also really popular. There's a backlog.
he cares about making like good photos, but like the first time you notice is Yoshi is like, hey, like you accidentally cut off the strip too soon, blah. And he's like, fuck you, Yoshi,
Yeah.
I'll fucking kill your ass.
I will murder
And then
you.
he gives the Yorkin mom. He gives her 5x7s when she wants 4x6s,
Yeah.
which is like if you've ever worked in photo development, you know that's annoying as fuck to do.
Yeah, he's
someone.
just like, well,
They
those
have-
are actually better.
Yeah, like she's
It's
like,
like, no, it's not.
like
They're
she
just
has
different. You
like
want different
frames and
things.
shit. Like, so you're asking her to do more errands.
Oh, those are better for you.
Like,
They're better.
That's psychotic.
I should say
behavior.
that whenever I fuck up with a picture. Oh, it's better. Don't worry
It's
about
actually
it.
better that
The
way.
exposure's better.
You actually don't know what the fuck you want. I know better than
I'll hook you up with the 18x24s.
Yeah, he just gives like
you want
giant.
posters of these.
He's like,
right?
hey, I zoomed in
Posters
on
of
your
each-
bra. So yeah, I think I'm noticing. Back to the question, I think I'm noticing. I guess the most relatable character is really Yoshi.
Yeah.
Because we've all worked with some creepy dudes before
Yoshi
in
had a
different
look.
lives.
Yoshi had a look, man.
And the thing about it is you usually just let those people
Yeah,
exist.
like,
Yeah.
this guy's gonna be a fucking
You're
criminal.
like, I'm just gonna be nice to him. So
Yeah.
then
I don't die.
He doesn't come with a fucking Boeing knife to me.
He's going to give me
and,
the warning.
And then
don't come to
Sai's
photo.
Sai's like, peace, love your ass. I am now implicating you in a crime. Like,
Yeah.
I'm out. Like, Sai out.
I thought it was really cute when Yoshi was like, "Wait, Sai, I just want to say like thank you for being such a good mentor to me."
It's funny that Sai responds to that sweet moment by really fucking with Yoshi.
I know. He's like the next day.
I'm gonna ruin your life.
I got some photos.
What if you're Gary Cole? Like,
Yeah.
did he handle that situation in the right way?
No.
Like, was that a good
Which
manager?
part? Like kicking him out once he came back as like
I
a
think
customer?
he did a fine job.
He was
fired
stealing.
him.
Oh,
so
sorry.
the thing is, he
Sorry.
should have been
Yes, I agree with
fired
that.
years ago. So
Yeah.
that's first and
The
foremost.
thing is, if you've seen For the Good Nurse,
Of course.
is
We all-
Gary Cole in The Good Nurse?
those people are being a lot more complicit with like firing someone because they know that he's doing bad shit. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that guy is killing people and
Yeah.
they're just firing him.
I just think
There are bodies, multiple.
after you fire the weirdo who broke down crying and he comes back to get his photos developed, like don't fuck with that guy anymore. Just let the man get his photos and walk out. Gary Cole is like, you cannot be here.
He's like,
Yeah.
all right, just this once. I'll develop.
Yeah,
the
just
photos."
this
also,
once,
so here's
like-
the thing. There's a weird dynamic that they have there because Gary Cole, I guess he doesn't know that he's stealing photos yet, but he's been taking extended lunches for like a half hour for a long period of
Way
time.
too long.
And it's just like, hey, you got a lot of vacation time saved up. You should try and use that sometime soon. And then next time he sees him, is like, yeah, you've been stealing thousands of dollars from us. You're fired. Can you close out the rest of the week though?
Yeah.
Can you just keep working for the rest
It's
of the week?
probably one of those things of he knows that something sus is going on, but like this guy is always available
Yeah.
to work. Like he is a low maintenance employee up to this point.
And how much
What is he
energy do you want to
spending-
spend on 1 hour photo? Like you got a whole shop to run.
yep.
So he's
Yeah,
just
there
like,
are
just
multiple
keep-
departments.
Yeah, he's
It's like all produce.
I know I just
section.
fired you after working here for 20 years, but do you mind closing out the week and working your last 4 shifts?
I think Sai has the ability of like when you look away from him, you start to forget him. So then some of those crimes get like diluted, and you look back like, oh, I remember
Like,
it was
oh,
for some
yeah.
reason.
Oh, you aren't
There was
wallpaper.
a
You're
guy.
right. You are a person.
You are a man.
Yeah,
All right.
It was mostly women's photos that are extra copies of.
Damn, and you
Unaccounted for.
didn't slip me a third? You didn't do threes?
The next category is what happens the day after.
Well,
I guess.
he is gonna go to jail.
What's
Yes.
his crime?
He
What's the word?
threatened 2 people with a knife
Well,
and
yeah.
made them do sex acts
Yeah,
on each other.
Kidnap? No, not kidnapping.
It's not.
It's more than harassment, obviously.
yeah,
It's not-
yeah.
Is it? It's not. But he's
attempted murder.
Well, is it?
I
But is it
guess.
ever? Is it attempted murder though? Because he
No,
could have
I don't
just
know.
straight up murdered, and he didn't.
It's not assault. If there's no physical. I don't know. The
No,
law.
well, it is.
Conspiracy to something.
Sai gets to walk free. he gets to
The
live
next
with
day,
a
the
family.
The judge is like, there's no law. We just
Here's
didn't write it.
he
Like,
gets to go home with the family and be
Here's
in
the
the
thing:
picture.
we never thought about this scenario.
No.
If you would have taken photos of them, that would have been illegal. You didn't do it, so
No.
you get just to go.
You're
free.
right. You're right. He just harassed people.
And
Really.
Nina's just waiting out there. It's just like, I had the talk with Will. We're done. Do you want to be like roommates together and like help raise my son?
and I'd be like my platonic friend.
Yeah, I think Will is never going to be able to perform sexually again. He's going to lose everything slowly, dye his hair blonde, and start dressing in beige.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, he's going to challenge
And
Sai.
start working in like the computer department of Save Mart. You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Start
Yeah.
watching Neon Genesis every night
One
to
can only
connect
hope.
with his son.
Well, I'm googling threatening someone with a knife crime. I just want to see.
That, like, I know that is
You're
a
gonna
crime.
get so
All
like
right,
put on
I
a
know.
list.
Yeah, you know.
Is it a crime too?
Okay, here we go. Aggravated, menacing, or brandishing, which is correct. Like,
Is
that
it a crime?
well, no,
to
that is- it would
force
definitely be
someone,
brandishing.
someone to do. Oh, I've googled this before. Weird.
It says up to 4 years in state prison in the
Okay,
state
four
of California.
years for Sai.
So probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
I
gotta
mean,
move, dude. He ain't that
He'll
old in that
definitely-
movie.
yeah.
He's out.
He'll definitely like get off for good behavior and shit.
Yeah.
Like, he seems like he'll be like,
he can go down for
well-behaved.
coercion
Okay.
with what he did.
So
'Cause
what?
he-
How long do you go in for coercion?
Right. Yeah, how long Cyan
What is
jail?
that like?
Can he?
Like 3 months?
I don't know, but he's the type that like the second he gets in there, like they're gonna be like, "Man, you're a pedophile," and they're gonna do bad stuff.
I
to
do
him.
like everyone. We're all just like, well, it is a weird crime. How do we quantify?
I think this is
There
the
has to
judges
be
are thinking-
some crime.
I
Well,
think
let's find out.
maybe that's why the cops are so interested in him, because they think that they're going to get him to admit to something worse by just
Right.
letting him talk.
It's
so they're like,
well,
no,
it's
keep
like-
talking.
it's
No,
just
he
like
didn't do anything.
you
He's so
could-
boring.
I feel like you could make a case that he did rape.
Sure.
yeah.
He
Sure.
forced people to do sex stuff that
Oh
they
my
did not
God.
want to
I
do.
bet-
They
honestly,
said, they didn't want to. He had
I
a
bet
weapon
that
and he
is-
made them do sex.
Yeah.
Like that's just rape.
Yeah.
But it's like
he-
third party rape.
Right.
Well, then how much do you get for third party?
Sexual
Third
assault.
party.
third parties.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going to jail.
Jesus
Quite a
Christ.
finesse.
I want to know.
I feel like it's probably 10. I feel like he gets like 5 to 10.
I'm seeing maximum of 20. So
Okay.
that might be what is third party sexual assault? I don't want to do this.
The next
Save it for the
category.
Patreon.
Find out
episode.
next week on Weboughtamic.
Next category is
the first minute of that the smoochie is like, okay, 7 years. We got
We
it.
determined
We're all really spaced out
Cy
trying to
will only
Google.
be- Cy will only be 42, so he's still got a chance.
So what's next?
good Robin or bad Robin.
Great Robin.
Great
I think he does an
Robin.
awesome
Excellent
job.
Robin.
I think he does a perfect job.
I haven't seen
I love
World's
him.
Greatest Dad, which I hear is excellent, but I think this is probably his best performance of the 2000s.
So you were saying earlier that like this was your introduction to him.
Yeah.
So did you feel like were you surprised when you saw things like Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji? Like how did you gauge that in
I was
comparison?
hoping to dodge I don't have as deep a connection to Robin as a lot of other actors. I think I've watched half of Jumanji. I find Miss Doubtfire a little annoying. I watched it like 2 years ago, so it's different.
It's
Um,
downright fucked up.
It is a little fucked up. That's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, no, this is like a different world. Yeah, like it's weird where I have always viewed him through the 2000 serious lens first and
Right.
then the comedy second. And that's just
that feels a little more alien.
it is, yeah.
For you, like you always found yourself to like a warmer figure, like a Tom Cruise. Then, is
yeah,
what you're
Tom
saying.
Cruise
Like, that
is
was
just
more
a
of
lovable folk. Yeah.
You know, I'm
a
gonna
real
say
human
it.
being.
I rode really hard against doing Tom Cruise. At this point, I'll just do it.
You know it's going to be a great.
I
It's
want
gonna
to
be a lot
do.
of
I want
fun.
to do Hanks next though, and I
I
want
could
to.
think of 5.
We can just do the good.
Hanks, we could do
We
like
don't-
an 8 episode series and just like.
We can just do the
Get the
peak
bangers.
Hanks era. There's,
exactly.
There's an era where there was
90s
all
Hanks.
bangers.
90s Hanks.
Well, I mean, the good news is we've already banged out like some classics, like 2022's Pinocchio.
You're right.
The Post is an episode that
Mhm.
we did.
You guys hate
Um,
the post. I always forget
Elvis.
this. The fucking
I don't
Post.
hate the post.
I don't even remember the post.
The Post.
That's more
the
my
point.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's the point. It's not that I hate it. It's
Yeah.
that it
It's
left no impact
can
on
watch The Post.
anyone.
What
Um,
better Spielberg movie that year? The Poster, Ready Player One.
It's Ready Player One. It's not close.
Okay.
Is Ready Player One's? Well, Ready Player One's a top 3 Spielberg.
We're
movie,
going
so that's
off
not
into
fair.
a deep dark
I
corner.
would love to do an episode on Saving Private Ryan.
That'd be good.
That was
be a
my
great one.
favorite movie as a kid. I was obsessed with that movie.
I've always felt weird, not to bring it back to the person we're doing the podcast on, but like
Don't
I've
do
never,
that.
I've never
Don't put
had
us
the
back on-
connection to Robin, and I'm not saying this in like a contrarian way. I did not have a connection to him when he died, so I've always been on the outside looking in when people like because people do get worked up. Like my fiance gets teary eyed thinking about Robin Williams. I've never had that. I've always viewed him as more of the clinical 2000s lens, and then when he died, I'm like, well, I can see there's a darkness this man is exploring about himself,
Yeah.
some kind of like issue with
Yeah.
himself. So
and
that's
you
always
also
interesting
see
to
him
me.
as old.
yeah.
Getting up there.
I love Good Morning Vietnam.
Aladdin.
He's great. I mean, Aladdin's great, but Aladdin's like Aladdin. Like I've always I can respect him, but like he's not someone I've got like those happy, fun childhood memories of that I can build off. It's more of something I'm looking backwards is like through a historical lens.
Yeah, he was. I didn't want him so bad because I sort of idolized him as a child. Like he wasn't as much an icon to me as a kid as he was very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
and thinking back at him now, just because that type of guy doesn't exist anymore. Like the old guy who's a kid's movie legend.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. Like there is no like big hairy like family movie
Yeah,
guy.
No.
I mean, going into the next category, which is the how many Robins?
How many Robins out of 10?
I think that this is like a 2 on the
Yeah,
Robin
this is
scale.
intensity of Robin, not quality of Robin.
But
Yeah, I'd say too.
not just because we rebranded Robinism. So it's not intensity.
It's not just mania.
It's about like how warm is he? Because the thing about
it's a
Robin,
mix.
the thing about Robin is that like he is like Robin at like his most Robin, to me at least, is that like that uncle figure.
Yeah.
He is that like fun zany guy who you see like at 4 holidays a year, and just like that he's gonna say like something wacky and be lovable and warm.
I mean, this movie is in direct retaliation to that image,
Yeah,
and I mean,
exactly.
but it is an incredibly successful.
Yes.
I never looked at him. I think this movie is, and it's not a knock, but it is devoid of warmth. There's no, but like there
the
is
point.
Quite literally, it's very
a
cold.
need and a humanity he does get through. I view all of his scenes so sad or hard to watch, and even that scene where he's trying to be the uncle to the kiddo, like it's just the
trying.
bad vibes. Yeah, like it's. So I'd say 2 on the Robin scale. I think that's fair. I don't just he's not.
You bring up a good point though. I think it's like attempted warmth, and for that reason, 3.
He did try.
Well, does
A
it make
for
it
Effort Dog.
worse that it's attempted, but you don't feel comfortable in it?
I think
You
it
know
makes
what?
it a better
One.
movie.
Yeah.
I think that makes it a great movie
No,
in that regard.
absolutely. Yeah, it's not about like the quality.
It-
of his
it's
performance, 'cause
well
excellent
calibrated.
in
Yeah.
it,
No,
but
the nicest thing about watching
just like
this,
that machine.
Yeah.
That
the,
damn
the
photo
nicest thing
machine.
about watching
plus
this
point
is I
for you.
felt some kind of like, not ownership, but like I did bring this movie to the table. I was like, I want to do 1 hour photo. And I felt good watching this, being like, okay, well, there is enough here, and he is doing enough that like this is a real thing in his oeuvre, whatever you want to call it.
Well,
Like,
and yeah, it's the thing that I started the episode with, which is like it's the first movie of the new millennium, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he did anything in between.
what was this made?
Bicentennial
Sorry,
Man and
this
this.
is 02, so this is pre 9/11. This is after 9/11.
this is post 9/11.
Yeah,
I don't know how to break this news to you, Harry, but the towers fell in 2001.
They probably made it pre.
it was
Yeah, true.
like it was
Movie
like
theaters weren't in a great spot after 9/11. Turns out people didn't want to congregate together.
It's just interesting, like, and it's not a huge
so he was
comparison.
in AI, which came out in 2001.
Yeah, he gets a
and,
one
like,
scene
he's the-
cameo.
he's
Another movie
AI,
that I just
right?
saw for
No,
the first time,
Jesus.
which fucking
Incredible.
Wait,
perfect movie.
What movie?
AI.
Oh yeah, perfect movie.
It's a perfect movie. But then he is in 1 Hour Photo, Death to Smoochie, and Insomnia, all in the same year in 2002. Part of that's due to film delays.
Yeah.
Part of it's just kind of lining up with shooting schedules.
I am just very heartened that this attempted little chapter in his career is not embarrassing to look back on. I think there's a lot of
Exactly.
There's a-
frustration here.
Everything, all 3 of these movies have a lot of merit to them.
Yeah, and it's a very like there is a purpose to what he's doing. He's like, I'm going for this specific thing.
He likes
And I'm gonna go
exploring
for it.
characters. Like
Yeah.
he likes making weird choices. He's not trying to choose what's going to make him the biggest, fattest check.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate that about him.
All right, finally, the last category, category, recaging couch. First, this is a 2-part category. First, where is Nicolas Cage in this movie? What role?
He's the
He's-
dad. He's,
yeah.
he's the 90s Cage. He's the dad.
I thought of him as Yoshi working with Robin.
Oh
I
man,
would
that'd be
love
great.
that.
I would love Will
His
York
name
in
is
his
Yoshi.
I was gonna say, yeah, change the name, but beyond that,
Robin Williams is just like, put your toes in the yogurt. Put your toes in the hot yogurt.
Cage. Actually, I like the idea of Cage.
The boss?
Can we get or him being the Evangelion action figure in the box, like just Cage?
Son, you got to get into the Ava.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay. Who could do this role? Who do we got?
A lot of people.
Contemporary, modern.
I don't even mean this as a knock, but like a lot of people.
I think when you brought up The Good Nurse, Eddie Redmayne in this role.
I thought Fassbender, but he's done shit like this. That's why I thought of him. Like,
I don't know. I'd love to see a little snivelly little fucking
Little
Eddie
fucking-
You want
Redmayne.
Eddie
Yeah.
Redmayne up in here? Ben Platt. probably
Akiva
good.
Goldsmith, not Akiva Gold. What's the guy from Lonely Islands? not Akiva Gold.
Akiva
Akiva
Schaffer.
Schaffer. No, I'm gonna do Akiva Gold.
You're just thinking of creepy looking fucks with glasses.
I had to Google what he looks like now. I don't.
I'm trying to think of somebody in 2002 who would be a good fit for this, because I think, is this the same year as American Psycho, or is American Psycho 2001?
I think that's 2000.
Was that 2000? Okay.
The
it's-
spaceman isn't the worst choice.
Oh, he was.
That's the thing, is that
Yeah.
K-Space.
Back then, he would have destroyed this part.
yeah.
That
I honestly would be surprised if like they thought of him.
But these are like easy layups. What's the actor that could transform themselves to get across this muted level of creepiness? What's the?
I mean, oftentimes the easy answer to this is Jim Carrey, because of how similar their kind of careers were, except like 20-year age gap, but of trying to do the whole rebranding yourself in the turn of the century. I don't know if I buy Jim Carrey though. In
Jack
this role.
Nicholson was originally approached.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. He's
Nicholson turned it down.
Even in 02, he was like
was
100.
Yeah, he's just like, I just want to
Nicholson-
be your uncle, you know.
Nicholson
good.
said that the role was too similar to The Shining.
In a way.
Yeah.
Slow burn.
Yes, not really. Not in like, I could see reading a script for the role and it sounding more like The Shining, but
him in the role would
practicality,
make it
not
like
really.
The Shining. I feel.
Yeah,
Because
it's just-
Nicholson.
Right. Okay. So before we wrap up, I just wanted to do a couple little quick fire last notes here. Just scanning the IMDb and the Wikipedia. I just wanted to note that Trent Reznor recorded a whole score for this movie that was not used.
Come on.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that would be good.
The
That
score
would
for
be-
this movie is bad.
And-
It's a bad film score. I did actually.
It's an early
note that.
2000s film score.
It's nothing.
And he,
Absolutely
so
nothing.
aged.
Reznor ended up using the music on his EP Still,
Okay.
Nine Inch Nails EP. And then also I wanted to read you guys some of the taglines that are listed
Nice.
in the
Yes.
IMDb.
Yes.
So here we go. These are the taglines listed. The things that we fear the most have already happened.
Holy
to us.
shit.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean anything. That's
He
nothing.
knows your secrets.
That's better.
It's one of those like fake Tumblr deep
Yeah.
lines, like where it's,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
supposed to be
That's
deep.
like a
and it's
live,
just like,
laugh,
that's-
love.
it's
Like
a fucking nothing sentence. What you're
That's
saying
in
there.
Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur.
Cy Parrish has always wanted a family. Yours.
I mean, that's
that
like,
rocks. I like
that's a
that.
good tagline for a crazier movie. I will say, I think Cy Parrish is a good name. It
Cy
sticks,
Parrish
it
is
sticks
a
in
good
my
name.
head. It's
Will
like-
Yorkin and
No.
Cy Parrish are like the yin and the yang of names in this movie.
Inside us all, there are two screenwriters.
Well, there-
No one takes a picture of something they want to forget.
See, that's not bad, but that doesn't connect it to the movie.
I'm
in
not.
a way.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything out of
No,
it.
that's like, hey, that's true. But that doesn't make me think of the movie.
A
That's-
picture-
It's definitely a fact.
A picture is worth 1,000 secrets.
I wish they'd done that one. Goddamn.
I thought you were gonna say a picture is worth 1,000 Seymours.
A picture's worth 1,000 lies. They had an alt there.
Oh,
You got to throw in the alt.
Okay.
You know, you got to pick.
yeah,
it.
see
when
which
they-
one you're gonna take.
What is going on when every movie has all of these taglines? Do they use them all?
Yeah,
around the world. Yeah, if they're trying to market it all
Different
over
around the world, and like
Uh.
what you're gonna get in like a 30-second trailer or versus like a
Yeah.
TV spot of just like throwing like 5 seconds
Okay.
up there
Yeah.
before like an NBA game or some shit
Bu-
like that.
bus,
Like, you gotta just
sta-
throw a
bus
little
station poster, you know.
bit.
Are there
Yeah.
any
It's the
more?
whole thing.
I like this.
This is
Never trust a stranger, especially if it's someone you know.
Well, then it's not a stranger. Fucking idiot.
Your most private moments are not as private as you think.
See, that's no.
How well do you have to know someone before you come to fear them?
Okay.
It is
Dear Diary, I got broken up with yesterday.
so Cy Parrish. I agree. I love the name. I just realized how much it sucks that his name is literally Seymour.
Yeah.
Seymour, and then his last name is Parrish.
Parrish.
Like,
Oh.
That's-
What if your
that's the story of the damned movie.
What if your friendly neighborhood photo developer wasn't as friendly as he seemed?
That's just the movie. Does that even count as a log line?
Bro,
And
I
it's
love,
just
I
like-
love, I love they did Take Your Kid to Work Day and put it in the poster. It's
Yeah.
really great.
That's the one that they used like in Save Marts nationwide.
Where they're like, can you tell me
Your
exactly what this
Wait,
movie
what your
is
friendly
right now?
neighborhood photo guy? What they call
Photo
it?
developer.
Your friendly neighborhood photo. All right.
Cy Parrish wants you all to himself.
He's great at developing.
That's better.
Except for his brain.
After saying 3 shitty things, I like that one more.
Okay. All right. Imagine this one with a little sound design in the trailer. This one's for the trailer. So this is like happy music.
Yeah.
Cy Parrish is about to get a life. Yours.
I love that one.
Okay, last one. There's nothing more dangerous than a familiar face.
These things don't mean anything. I don't want to be mean.
These are just like marketing department, like bullshit, like turning in, I got to turn this in by 7 on Friday.
My coked out boss wants me to do 30 of these or I'm going to get sent to the morgue. Like,
I don't know. I would love to have this job.
Just
crank out taglines all day.
It's giving like in like Parks and Rec where they're like doing the Bobby Newport hate ads. They're like Bobby Newport. It's just that of just coming out with just different shit that we can just throw the name Cy Parrish in front of.
Rob Schneider is just a normal guy.
Okay, last thing. If this goes well right now, maybe we can make this a recurring tagline for this last bit of this series. Retitle this movie. I like this title.
I like 1 Hour.
I like
Photo.
1 Hour
I think
Photo is a good name, but
can you think of anything better?
Snapshot.
Cy Parrish.
I like Snapshot.
Snapshot's good.
That's good.
It's
good.
Punchy.
See more, say less. If you see more, say more.
Yeah.
See more, say more.
No. Yeah, Snapshot is good.
I like Snapshot.
The weird
I can't beat
asshole
that.
next door. I don't know. Yeah.
One of the taglines should have just been, did you know that Snapshot was a hunting term?
See, Snapshot just makes it sound more exciting. I gotta be honest, but it's also more connected to the movie.
1 Hour
Yeah, I see
Photo
1 Hour Photo,
sounds
I'm like,
mundane.
Like, is this a fucking documentary? What is this?
Well, the thing is, it needs to portray itself as pretty mundane.
It
because,
does.
Yeah, because then you are pleasantly surprised by where it goes, as opposed to being disappointed that it doesn't go far enough.
Yeah.
No, you're right. No,
Snapshot is the recut of the movie we're doing, where we cut out the first 5 minutes and we reorder some scenes. We recast the entire family and just actually make it a true Fincher thriller.
Kind of going back to the rating of the poster, just seeing this poster, I always just assumed that this was like a Sammy Fableman-esque tale where he discovers a secret in the film, like some deep dark. Not that he is like a fucked up guy, like fucking people over. I was like, oh, he's just a normal photo guy that just encounters.
Here's the thing.
Something horrible.
What if Yoshi was also super invested in this family and like, and Cy's just like really upset one day at work and he comes in and he's just like, Yoshi, come here, and like pulls him down the ground, just like plays the photos of the family of Will Wheaton, what's his name? Will Yorkin cheating on his wife.
There's a post-credit scene where Yoshi gets like a chest full of the old all-size photos and like he starts like ascending. And it's your new.
What if this movie had the same ending as The Whale?
Oh my
I can't
God.
tell you. Don't tell me. I haven't seen The Whale yet, bro.
Whoa.
I don't want to spoil The Whale for you.
I saw that clip today
on
for the
Twitter,
first time, and I was absolutely mind boggled.
Damn it! I want to.
Guess what? That's
I'm gonna watch this clip
movie.
after. I want to watch the clip after this episode. So
it's exactly what you think.
I don't
Actually,
know.
it's probably worse than.
It's so much worse than you think.
Jamie, pull it up. The clip.
It's the part. Everybody in the theater is sobbing. Okay, we're all just sobbing and going to church. We're going to church afterwards.
Going to church. Is it? Yeah, it's about Jesus, right? Or it's God, or
aren't all movies about Jesus?
Yeah.
You know what, Harry? Isn't every story about the Bible?
He is the first superhero.
Thank you all for listening.
And with that,
please rate, review, subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on 1 Hour Photo. Check out our website, weboughtamic.net, where you can sign up for updates and get every episode delivered in your inbox.
Hell yeah.
Join the Discord. Donate. Anchor.fm/weboughtamic. Thank you, beautiful donors, for donating. Stick around for Death to Smoochie next week. And then Insomnia after that. And Oscars coming up.
Mm-hmm.
our predictions.
It's going to
The
be
Academy
locking it in.
Awards.
It's going to be a way more interesting discussion in renaming Death to Smoochie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there will be better pitches for that.
The last leg
Life
of
to
this
Rainbow
Robin
Randolph.
series.
Begins.
We're here.
We're here.
Thanks, Harry, for
Glad
coming
to be
on.
here. This was
Thanks,
a blast.
You're on for the next one too.
Yes,
so
I am.
we'll see you then.
Excited for it.
Take care. We love you. Bye.
Bye.